Brian, thank you for joining us. Congratulations. Signal has been topping the App Store charts globally. Now, how is Signal scaling up to match the growth and at what speed?
We're basically all hands on deck. We've been losing a fair amount of sleep, but we've been scaling up our servers to make sure that we have enough capacity for all the users that want to use our app. And so far we've been able to manage the load. Obviously, I have a lot of experience doing this. I've been in the industry quite a while, we're excited because the Indian country and people have really signed up quite considerably, and it's been exciting, to see so many people and get so much feedback and to already get tons of feature requests and things like that. I know that people are really excited to try out Signal and explore it, and it's a great opportunity for us.
Well, I hope you do get some sleep soon. Signal is now being compared to WhatsApp. Both products are founded by you and they're competing against each other. So how do you feel about that? And what do you think are the key features where Signal scores over WhatsApp?
I think that where Signal absolutely scores above WhatsApp is in the privacy category. You see it in the privacy label in the app, in the iPhone app, placed in the App Store. And you see it in sort of how we build our product. We have privacy features, disappearing messages, things like that. Everything is encrypted, including your metadata. We lead and win on privacy. Of course, WhatsApp has, 400 million users in India. It's a big market. There's a lot of excitement around WhatsApp in people's day-to-day lives. We're just grateful for the opportunity to show the product to the people of India and to tell them that there's alternatives, help them learn about online privacy, digital privacy, help make sure that they make the right choices in securing their communications and their privacy.
Privacy is the way to go. Now, WhatsApp has incredible momentum in India with 340 million users. Meanwhile, digital literacy and specifically data literacy is a challenge. How do you plan to convey Signal's privacy-first USP in the market where people still prefer convenience?
I think a lot of it just comes from a lot of the materials that we present people. If you look at, Signal is called the private messenger in our store listings. Privacy is outlined and highlighted in a lot of places as you use the app. And so I think it comes through pretty easily that it's privacy first. And it's why people were starting to have that conversation of like, well, should I use Signal or should I use WhatsApp or something else? And, I'm glad people are having these conversations and, they're having them with their parents and they're having them with their children. And that's actually helping digital literacy. The education here is extraordinarily important. And I'm glad that Signal can be a part of that.
Well, you did leave Facebook because of your disapproval with how the company intended to use data from WhatsApp. Now, ethical dilemma aside, targeted advertising can help surface more relevant information. So what's your stance on making data sharing opt-in versus not sharing data at all?
When you build systems that are opt-in, they oftentimes are quickly switched to opt-out, and becomes the slippery slope of what data do I collect, what data do I not collect, and then people start to get into a position where they're completely surprised. It's like, oh, when I opted in, I didn't realize I was giving you this other information. If you start from a position of we have no information, you're automatically protecting people's privacy. You're automatically keeping them safe and keeping them secure. And that's the type of tool and utility and communication that I want to be able to protect. There are of course alternatives, and people will explore those alternatives and try those alternatives and make decisions for themselves. But I always want to make sure that there's a strong safety net that protects your privacy that you can turn to and have available at all times. And that is Signal.
There are obvious data privacy concerns with Facebook, but it has enabled simpler communication between businesses and users like payment integration. Does Signal's privacy stance allow it to reach such a big, huge ecosystem integration here in India?
I think that it's really early to tell. Right now we're focused really on just sort of protecting and promoting communication. WhatsApp is taking on a lot of other things and other activities, especially in Indian market. And I don't feel the need to necessarily try to do that in direct competition. I'm a big fan of Paytm. I think that it's a great product, and people are, they love Paytm as much as they love WhatsApp, or and they will grow to love Signal. I don't think you have to do everything in your app. I think what's important is to identify what's your critical functionality and to do it really well.
Instant messaging apps have often been used to coordinate illegal acts. Your co-founder Moxie Mullin-Spike has gone on the record to say that law enforcement should be hard. Now with Signal's world-class encryption, this becomes harder still. What is Signal's stance on cooperating with law enforcement, governments of countries, and to what extent?
What's important is the law. And, the law is there not only, to protect, the law is there to protect its citizens. So, insofar as, Signal can be there to help protect citizens from things like abuse of power, I think it's a very strong, sort of safety that we can offer our users. In terms of law enforcement, I think that, it should be specific and it should be targeted. Law enforcement should be encouraged to be, sort of very specific about what they're going after, and you have the tools and capabilities to do that. More often than and Signal helps to protect people from those abuses where people go broad or go wide.
At its inception, you invested $50 million in Signal, and the foundation operates as a non-profit. Now, with the increasing amount of interest and growth in downloads, what is the long-term business plan to ensure Signal can scale up and sustain itself?
We've gone back and forth on, variety of business plans, and we really like the nonprofit structure, and we really like the, sort of donations and grants business model. Now, that's work, of course, to make sure that you have donors. You have large donors, you have small donors, people that give you, and there's a spectrum of donors. Wikipedia is a great example of a nonprofit technology organization that's able to provide a fantastic service that's free for all. And that's what we're working towards. Part of that's growing the users and making sure that we have enough donors to work with. And then, of course, giving them, a reasonable tool to give us a donation if they prefer. And then we also cultivate large donors. And that's how we will sustain ourselves in the long term.
And you're saying that you will never take external investments and continue to run on donations?
There's no plan to get any other investment, no. And what I want to do is I want to earn people's donations. That's the right relationship, right? I want to build features and capabilities and build a delightful product that earns your donation. I want you to voluntarily want to give us money, not feel like, oh, I have to pay for it because, I have to pay for it.
Let's talk about future planning. Signal has so far relied on phone numbers that are still tied to users' identity. Are there any plans to introduce user IDs that will let a user completely be private?
I think that we will explore these ideas. I think we give them really good consideration because they give you another layer of privacy protection, and that's what drives us. It's like, how can we? It's one of the features that's most frequently requested of us as well, and so if we build it and when we build it, we would do it in a privacy preserving way at all times.
Lastly, what are your plans for India and to grow here? Will you expand language support for great access and introduce any unique features for the region?
Certainly the languages. I mean, what's wonderful about India, it's such a diverse culture. We already support, I think, 12 different translations, ranging from Hindi, of course, to Urdu and everything else. We have gotten an influx of feature requests from India, so I view it as a collaboration. I have a very good friend and colleague who, lives in Erode, Tamil Nadu, and, I talk to him every day. He's telling me what's going on, helps me understand sort of what the Indian market's like, what's necessary. He's giving me product ideas. I think that's the best way to build a product for India. And what's really awesome is like India is such a strong representation of the world that if you build for India, you build for the world.
Have you ever visited India?
Yes, absolutely. I've been there twice, all over, Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi.
So now when can we expect you here again?
Oh, it's on the list. It's definitely a place. I've yet to visit the Taj Mahal. That's definitely a one I want to do. But I also want to go back to Mumbai and Bangalore as well. So
Thank you so much, Mr. Acton, for talking to us on NDTV.
yep, thank you.